What's up everyone, Darcblade here, bringing you a little bit of Mass Effect 3, something a little bit different, but holds a great special place in my heart. Mass Effect has been one of my favourite franchises in recent years, and the third one is on the horizon, and I cannot wait for its release date. There's been some controversy around its release to do with Day 1 DLC and stuff like that, but on the whole, I am really looking forward to this game. Now, for people who don't know, Mass Effect 3, or the whole Mass Effect franchise, is a sci-fi role-playing action-adventure type game. It mixes various genres into one big sort of like pot, and what you get is just epic in my opinion. Now, the gameplay footage here is from the demo that's been out in February. It's of the multiplayer side of the game, which is new to Mass Effect 3. When multiplayer was announced for Mass Effect 3, there was a lot of uproar saying that multiplayer has no right to be in a game such as Mass Effect. And I too was a bit unconvinced that it would be any good. But having played the demo, I think that the co-op multiplayer, it is co-op, not competitive at the moment, fits in perfectly. And they're also integrating it into the actual single-player campaign, which could effectively change the outcome of the single player. I don't know how, but this is just what BioWare have said. Now, I'm focusing mainly on the multiplayer aspect of the game here, as the single player game. Although it's had a few tweaks and turns, anyone who's played any of the other Mass Effects will be fairly familiar with the way it plays and stuff like that. So basically, Mass Effect's multiplayer, it is a horde type game mode, which sees you and four friends, four if you include yourself, pitted against various enemies. In the demo, you were only pitted against Cerberus, which are a human radical group in the Mass Effect universe, for those of you who don't know. And you just have to survive waves of various enemies, as well as the occasional odd sort of like side mission thrown into the side of things, like assassinate certain characters and stuff like this. Actually, this gameplay footage I'm seeing here isn't the best demonstration. When I went into this gameplay, it was set on gold challenge level, which is the highest challenge level there is, and unless you're with a team of people who know what they're doing, who are leveled up a lot and communicate a bit, then it's not going to end well. Let's just say that. And well, you can see this, you'll see in a minute, this doesn't end well. Sorry to give away spoilers, but gold challenges with pugs don't normally work out. Anyway, the multiplayer. You start off basically choosing one of the various classes you can in Mass Effect: Vanguard, Sentinel, Soldier, Infiltrator, Engineer, and Adept. If I've missed any, please leave a note. But anyway, they're the basic classes you start off with, and each one of these classes has a human form, human character for them, both male and female, but they also include a alien race to them. 2 aliens assigned to each class. For example, in this gameplay, I am playing as a Drell Vanguard. So anyway, you pick your class, you pick your race, and then it's time to move on to the equipment. You have basically a slew of equipment at your disposal. You could pretty much equip any weapon that you want, or any combination of weapons. In the past, in previous Mass Effect games, certain classes couldn't use certain weapons, but in this there doesn't seem to be any limitation, at least that I found. The only limitation you have is that you can only pick 2 weapons overall. And another limitation is that certain characters can only carry a certain amount of weight. When you're weighed down too much, it affects your abilities, your powers, your biotics, and so on and so forth. I mean, no one likes to be weighed down by a load of crap on your back. So, once you've loaded up your character with the right weapons, I mean, different weapons suit different classes better, you can go and choose a load of equipment. These are like disposable equipment, such as metagels and certain types of ammunition. Oh, I just got to interrupt. My team just keeps dying at this. And there I go. I did. Yeah. I think this game is over. I'm going to switch to another better gameplay example for you here. Anyway, after you've chosen your weapons, your equipment, class, race, you're ready to go. You are basically dropped into a battleground and told to survive various waves, try to get the territory back, and occasionally a alternative mission might be thrown in there, of course. Once you've completed 10 waves, you are given an extraction mission where you have to kind of, well, run away. And that is pretty much the gist of the multiplayer in Mass Effect as far as I can tell. Of course, there's a lot more in-depth than what I've just said here, but this is just the bare bones of the multiplayer for those who are interested to find out what it was. Anywho, in this gameplay, I am playing as the Infiltrator, which is actually what I normally play my main Mass Effect single-player character as. I think this is probably my best class. It may not be the most entertaining class to look at. To be honest, I find the Vanguard is really fun to watch, whereas the Infiltrator isn't exactly the most fun to watch always. But this gameplay is a far better demonstration of how a good round is supposed to go. Not like the last one. Anyway, I hope the Mass Effect community does support the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and that it doesn't become a die-in multiplayer mode that you see in some games. I personally think the best thing it's got going for it is that it integrates with the single player, and that will keep people coming back to it, I hope. Now, for me, the best thing about the Mass Effect multiplayer is the character customization, as well as the short amount of rounds there are in the Horde mode, the different levels of challenge, the obvious leveling up system, which seems to be quite in-depth for a multiplayer game anyway. Oh, you gotta love the Cryo Blast. One of my favourite moves. Shame I should really level it up more. So those were the pros. Those were the pros of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer for me. But the game isn't without its flaws, of course. Every game is. For me, the major flaws come sometimes in terms of the gameplay. Sometimes it can feel a bit too clunky, if that's the right way to describe it. Too cumbersome sometimes. It doesn't flow as freely as I would necessarily like. But this is only a minor flaw, to be honest, because playing the game for 15 minutes, half an hour, and the clunkiness soon kind of, well, falls out of you. And you're diving around, sprinting, and so on and so forth, quite smoothly. Another flaw I find is that, well, for me, I find that some classes do a lot better than others in this game. Some classes can earn and rack up the points a lot quicker than the others. Point in case, the Infiltrator and Vanguard. Now, they are my favourite class. It might be because I'm good with them, but when I see other people with them as well, they just seem to rack up the points so much faster than some of the other classes. I played as the Engineer and the Adept for a little while, and I find I wasn't getting as nearly as much points or as much kills as I was when playing the other classes, which is a shame. I mean, I hoped BioWare balances out the classes, or that the classes fulfill certain roles that result in even amount of points, if you get what I mean by that. But that all being said, this is still a beta, and on the other hand, I might just be really good, not blowing my own trumpet, or the other people I play with who rack up the points may be incredibly good compared to some of the other people. Actually, thinking about it, I probably just suck with the Engineer and Adept, which is a shame because I would like to be good with the Adept, but I just find I can't perform well with it. In fact, I would love to hear which your favourite classes are, and which you think is the best class to play as. Right, so Mass Effect 3, out in a few days. Can't wait to play it. I know there's a bit of controversy with the Day 1 DLC, but personally, I'm trying not to let that get in the way of what could be a great game for me. Anyway, I've been Darcblade. I hope you've enjoyed this footage of me playing the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Subscribe and like for more.